There it is.
Hey, welcome everybody to the 2023 and 7-day panel. So happy you're here. Thank you for being here. Ash Sevilla, our moderator, per usual and per the community, we love him so much. He is in the middle of a gnarly bug and tried to drag his way out, but we told him to rest and recover. But he compiled all your questions or many of your questions.
Bug and tried to drag his way out.
And wow, I'm hearing myself. I'm tripping now. It's okay though. So anyway, welcome. I'm going to do Ash's job, not nearly as well as Ash would, but we're going to do this. We're going to make this happen. And I'm so grateful that you're here. We have some cool stuff going out. Just a little fun thing. Jay over at BioWare was so incredibly generous and got us a bunch of gift codes for giveaways. So what we're going to do is we're going to divvy those codes up among the cast members and those who are doing live signings. Some of us, I'm not doing a live signing, but I'm doing a signing. Some of us who are doing the live signing will have free giveaways for like their PlayStation codes, their gear from the store codes, they're all kinds of codes. Let me see what else we've got. We've got Xbox codes, PC Steam codes. I mean, so much. They were so generous with what they gave us for the panel. It's lovely. So we're going to divvy that up among the cast members. So pay attention. There'll be a giveaway in many of our signings. Welcome. We're going to dive into questions. Well, first of all, let's let everybody say hello, cast.
Hello.
Say hello.
Hello.
Yes. And actually,
Hi guys.
hey, before we start, I wanna give the floor to Courtney in a second to share about something that we're all supporting. I mean, we're really aware that, a decent number of our community are veterans, both active duty and no longer active duty, and sometimes the toll that can take on them. We ran into that this week with one of our beloved community members, and so Courtney, will you share what you've been doing to honor his memory?
Sure. I will be donating the proceeds to my signing today. Some of you guys may have seen on my social media about a friend of mine, John Calise, who I actually met at a convention. He had many of Jack's tattoos on his arms. I met him at DragonCon in 2018. He he is a bright light, a really incredible guy, and I'm donating. We lost him on Sunday. This is him. He's on my Instagram. We lost him on Sunday, and so I'm going to be donating the proceeds to for my signing to a group that's called Headstrong, and it's for veterans and their families and all military and their associated family members to get confidential, barrier-free, stigma-free mental health treatment, because they're trained to, we're all struggling. This has been an incredibly hard few years. And I always say, check in on your friends, but please, if you have military loved ones, make sure that you're checking in on them even more, because they're trained to hide a lot of the things that we get to express. And I just don't ever want to lose anybody else to mental health struggles like we've lost John Calise. He was an incredible guy. And so I just really appreciate everyone that's donated to the cause already. You can donate on my Instagram, which is at Courtney Taylor LA, or you can go directly to Headstrong and I'll put it in the chat. But, I just want to give much love this week, especially because it was N7 Day and it's Veterans Day here in America, and we're doing this. Please, if any of you are struggling for any reason, but, I'm especially speaking to my military family out there, please reach out for help. There's, access at Wounded Warrior Project, Headstrong, and a few others, but we need you. So thank you, Jen.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks everybody out there. I'm just taking care of a quick tech thing. Campbell, check the chat. So yeah, it's such a tough topic, and I didn't, it starts us on a little bit of a heavy note, but I think what we can bring to it and what we can focus on is the joy that we have as a community and the joy that we bring each other, because that's what we have left, right? We have left to go forward. And that is one of the most helpful ways to go forward. And then to be there for each other when we're not feeling the joy. So today, yes.
I mean, and that is the thing. I mean, about the Mass Effect community. It's so powerful. It's so astounding to be a small part of this enormous kind of outpouring of love and affection for one another and the caring. And Courtney, you speak right into that, as you always do, just trying to sort of bring people together and sort of give it a purpose and a focus. It's just so great. I mean, that's the best part for us. I mean, at least for me anyway, it's just kind of the community, this sense of, I mean, all of us as actors, but really the people that we get to sort of connect to is just astounding.
And it's huge to see, even when it was announced that he passed away, so many of the people that have been reaching out I met him in a Mass Effect group. I met him at Dragon Con. He went into, he flew helicopters and all of his flight gear had N7 stuff on it. And, he really, I just want to say thank you, because it's to everyone who's a fan of this franchise, both because I know you guys get a lot out of it, but we also get a lot out of it. I have met so many people that I wouldn't, including people on this panel, that I would not have if it were not for this franchise. And, this is a way, to find, we have these concentric circles of people and you can reach out to your chosen family, your N7 family, if you need help, as well as, these other resources that we're talking about. But I'm really glad that, Mass Effect has made a difference for you guys and for us.
Oh, such a beautiful community. All right, hit up Courtney's social media to find the Headstrong link. Shout out to DC's cat, who is a rock star walking behind his head. I love that cat. Let's see, Campbell, DC. I'm going to connect you guys because DC's pretty tech savvy. Somebody needs to take over.
Not in that shirt, he's not. You just rolling from a Dead concert, dude? What up?
Yes. Steve Bloom is working on getting in, but he needs somebody to step in and take over. He's going to take over Campbell's seat, but that means somebody needs to let Campbell out, him in. So if one of you guys can message with Campbell and figure that out while we hit up some questions. Okay. All right. So we're going to step into questions now. The first one is from Rach. It says, are there traits of your characters that you've integrated into the way you engage with the world? Open forum. Sound off. Ding, ding, ding.
Well, it's going to have to be one of the others besides Jennifer and I, because our characters could be anything across a very wide spectrum.
Exactly.
From a real by the books, by the numbers kind of hero to a borderline sociopath who's still saving the universe. So people with established characters that have fixed traits. What do you guys say?
I admire Morden's intellect. And, I don't pretend to have anything approaching that, but I do strive to employ my brain in most things. So I admire that about him.
That's good. What else? What else we got? What else we got?
Jack's people skills for sure.
Yes.
How to make friends and influence.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's so funny.
I think through playing Leora, I've learned to step away from things and analyze a little bit before reacting.
Ooh.
In a calm way. Sometimes I just, kind of pull her tone out of the air and use it, when talking in stressful situations, especially to 9-year-olds.
Oh, that's funny. That's really funny.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Really, honey.
Oh my
Stay
God.
calm. Lie down.
That's funny.
Breathe.
Oh, that's funny. Hey, I'm going to take a quick tech pause because Steve Bloom is waiting in the wings and we got to figure out how to get him in. Campbell, can you open up and talk to us real quick so we can figure that out? Are you there, Campbell?
I'm texting him.
Okay, I am too. We're all texting
Okay.
Campbell.
Campbell, please, we're just
Campbell,
actors.
are you
We're
still
just
here?
actors
Campbell,
here.
please. I'm drowning in tech.
Help us.
Technical difficulties.
Help us, Campbell. You're our only hope. So how do you? So how do we let Steve in if you leave?
Different show altogether.
Right.
Yeah,
Campbell?
whoever's hosting this is the one who has the ability to let people in, I would think. So
Is that me?
Whoever
I
started.
think we're hosting it now.
whoever started-
That's the point. I think we're by ourselves. This is
We're
real
the
now,
host
guys.
Right.
now.
So
On
where's the
on
where's
Normandy.
is something gonna
This
pop
is
up?
it. Get into your characters and work it out. Okay.
All right.
I am so useless right
good
now.
at this than I am.
Campbell,
I'm just
is
gonna
something
throw
this
hey,
in.
hang on, guys. Hang on.
Before unseen.
Hang on. Campbell, is something gonna pop up when Steve tries to come in so that I can let him in? Campbell.
Campbell, do you
Campbell.
read me?
Campbell, do you read me? Maybe he left.
All right.
We're
I don't know
so
if
rude.
Just-
Is anybody getting
was
answers from him?
You know what?
Commander
Hang on.
Campbell.
Do you
Commander
have a
Campbell.
you have a settings below? If you look under your more menu, do you have settings? And in your settings, do you have anything other than the two basic ones they've got?
Nope.
So down below there should be a more menu.
Nope, there's not. Can you do it?
No, I can't.
Can you make him
I only
host?
have
No.
camera, not hosting.
Okay, hang
I gotta
tight.
say, guys,
Hang
we're
tight.
adorable. We are.
We're so lame. We're just so
We're
lame.
so good
I'm
looking.
telling him
We
right
are
now.
so
I'm gonna do
cute.
this the old school way. Hey, what's up? I'm gonna.
You guys are getting a behind the scenes.
It's not. There we go. Now it's fine.
Okay, the only
Hang
way
tight,
that this is going to
everybody.
work is Steve
Oh,
Bloom
there's
is going to have to come
25
to one of our houses. He'll have to come
Exactly.
around and just be on
Exactly. No,
screen
I
with us.
want him here. I want him here. He needs to be there. And Campbell's not answering his phone.
This whole
Oh my
Earth
God,
thing
this
may
is
not work out
hysterical.
for us after all.
Oh my God, Campbell, answer your phone, man. Oh, I'm sure he's doing
He said it-
10 million things. 10
You
billion
can
Campbell's
things.
supposed to
Poor
be
guy.
If you can FaceTime him, you could bring him in that way.
Well,
Gwen
may
told
I
that.
suggest
don't know.
Yes,
Man,
Mark.
while we're trying, do we
Yes.
have like the list of questions?
We
and
do,
things
and
like
we're doing
that?
it right now. Okay, so Solid Blink Boss asks,
Mhm.
I know it can be hard to remember everything that happened in the booth, but I'm curious if there were scenes that you were aware of that you recorded that ended up being cut completely changed in the final version of the games, if you're allowed to share that.
I think I can speak to this one.
Yes.
That Raphael and I would both know that Male Shepherd and Caden's relationship, there were scenes written that we did record that they weren't able to implement until the third game, where they implemented that relationship fully. But we did record those scenes, and that dialogue is actually in the code of the
Ooh.
game. So industrious Mass Effect fans went in and mined that code and pulled out that dialogue because it was in there. And some of that has been set to essentially put in the games as mods and whatnot. So yes, that is something that wasn't initially seen by the public, but thanks to the industriousness of Mass Effect's fans, has been. So that is
That's
one
really cool.
scene.
I didn't even know that. That's really cool.
Oh yeah, it's out there. You can like all those initial scenes that we recorded. They are there.
Wow,
Mhm.
that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Really cool.
Jack was
Um,
pansexual.
I wouldn't say that
Oh, yes.
there's scenes that I forget that I recorded in the booth, but that I do know that there are, or maybe this is the same thing. There's a cheat code out there for Mass Effect 2 that you can use to get Legion to join your group far earlier, and then you get a lot more dialogue that you don't hear if you just play the game normally. So I do know that. And also, if you go to YouTube and Google Legion Audition DC Douglas, there's a whole thing. I posted the audition that I did, which is completely different than you would expect Legion to be talking about. And you guys would know more what it means than I do. But I know that people who've heard it have gone, well, they thought it was pretty fascinating. So there's that.
So what was the voice that you auditioned with, DC? Do you remember?
It's all my voice. It's all my voice. No, I don't. I'm a master of one voice, mine. So,
Of course.
It didn't get cut, but I originally auditioned for Edie, which is a good bit of like Mass Effect gossip
Ooh.
before getting
Yeah.
Sound Trainer, if anyone's interested.
Mhm.
That's all I
as far
got.
as-
Sorry.
I mean, I did a lot of demo stuff back in the day. So it's stuff that I mean, some of it has been seen, but some of the very earliest stuff I did was figuring out how typical alien races would sound and stuff like that. And
Oh,
during
but
that process,
isn't what you did it? You were working at BioWare doing voices, and they heard you, and then basically upgraded you. Isn't that sort of how that all?
yeah, they were essentially, they brought me in very early in the concept art stages, and I basically did a presentation for, this is how a typical Solarian would sound, this is how a typical Krogan would sound, this is, and during that they had me do some scratch dialogue for Solarian and whatnot, a Solarian bartender specifically, and there was a scene with Shepard where I was basically just talking to myself. And during that process, they said, we'd like you to audition for the male version of Commander Shepard. And so after, callbacks and whatnot, hey,
And
I
the rest
ended up
is history.
yeah, I got to do Shepard.
I
And
love that.
when they told me that, oh, and by the way, the
Yeah.
female version of Shepard is Jennifer Hale, I was thrilled beyond all measure.
And
That's
Mark, that's
so
sort of like the
funny.
equivalent of like working in the mailroom and then becoming the head of the agency. Essentially.
Yeah, I think I've likened it
All the way up.
for to being told, oh, by the way, you're being in this, project, there'll be a dual role, and the female version of your character will be being played by Meryl Streep. For example. It was like, what, really? I'd been a big fan of Jennifer's from animation days, specifically like the Justice League stuff and
Oh
the
my
Batman
God.
stuff. And yes,
That's so crazy. That's so
Mhm.
crazy. That's so funny. Well, actually, that leads into our next question from perhaps Rampancy, which is they would love to hear the story of how our auditions went and how we earned the roles. So that's so cool. We heard Mark's story. Who else would like to share their audition story? Allie, go.
I mean, I think I did what others of us did, where I, walked into, at the time, my very first voiceover agent, and I got extremely lucky. And at the time, we got it on paper, right? And there was no rendering yet. There was no picture. We had no idea what they looked like.
Yeah.
There were just a few lines and a character description, which is what we all usually get, sometimes with a photo, sometimes not. Sometimes they'll give sort of an example of some actress or character in a movie or something they want it to kind of sound similar to. I don't remember getting any of that. I think it was kind of a clean slate audition situation, which is always kind of fun.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually, so probably read like 3 or 4 lines or something. And just in the character description, I did originally come up with sort of the cadence of Liara. And there's so much music in her voice. I just had a lot of fun with that. And we kind of really stuck, I think, to my original audition idea, which, as we all know, a lot of times, you'll audition for something with one idea and they'll play you your audition in your very first session. And you might migrate from that idea. They might say, hey, give it a little Irish spin, or can we take it a little deeper in your register? And you just don't know. But I remember we got there that day. It was Ginny McSwain directing, helping to originate a lot of these characters before she sort of passed the baton to Caroline Livingston for directing the voice acting. And I remember seeing the very first rendering of Liara, and it was just, the computer generated lines, sort of on graph paper, and it wasn't very clear, and it was just like almost like a digital sketch. And we stuck with it, and we added a little bit of a mid-Atlantic to her as well in the original game, in Mass Effect 1. But that's kind of how I got it, and how it sort of started evolving into what Liara became. And of course, she had an evolution over time. So that's
so cool.
I was thrilled. So thrilled.
Really cool.
Does anybody else remember their audition story from this? Oh, yes. Ash.
I remember mine really well. It's like, we have so many auditions, but that one I remember that booth that I spent so much time in. And for some reason at that point, they weren't printing out scripts ahead of time at all. Like sometimes you would get them while you were in the waiting room. But in this one, I know they handed it to me while I was in the booth. I think I was auditioning for a handful of commercials and a couple other things that day. So it was like one of a stack. And I believe I auditioned for Liara. I didn't remember that until, Alex, you were talking about your Liara and one other character too. I think there were 3. And the last one of the day was the Tali, and it was a pretty substantial monologue. And Allie, like you were saying, I think the description was very vague. It was mystic. I think it said possible, unidentifiable Eastern European, it said gypsy accent. And there was a kind of a larger age range also, and it was about her pilgrimage. It was about her first pilgrimage, and it was a lengthy monologue, which was lovely. And it was a cold read, and I like fell in love with. I remember just falling in love with the words and feeling her, and having that feeling where when I left the booth, I was like, doesn't matter if I get this. I got to read that and be this person, this Quarian. That word was not on there. But it was like an instant alignment. And I didn't know what it was for either. There was no just reading. So, and then I got to live with her for so long. But yeah, I remember that audition really well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Anybody else want to share audition story? If not,
I don't remember so much.
I was.
Oh, sorry, Alex. Go ahead. Why don't you go first?
No, you go.
I mean, it was an audition like many others. The thing that obviously, and when it came along, there's no sort of rhyme or reason that I would ever imagine that we would be this far along, still doing it, still talking about it, still it's still having sort of the impact that it has. But the whole thing that I remember, and really it's sort of a shout out to her, is Jenny McSwain, as you mentioned, Ali. There was a voice quality that they responded to, but she really found the way in which to make this work, created a logic and a structure. I remember there being sort of a discussion about wanting it to be like an episode of 24, so they didn't want it screamed or yelled, which was a lot of the other games that had been sort of done at that point. This was much more realistic, more human. And then I remember there being sort of like a Post-it or something on the wall. She said, when you talk, I need you to talk to that Post-it, because I need to feel like there's that sort of sense of kind of military. There was that sort of cadence that came from really speaking to someone else in a directed way. And so whatever ultimately became of Caden and became integrated, it really, there's so much that she really helped kind of guide me to, and gave me a language for the world, which was, it's so hard to know what a director does in a video game, because they really sit in the shadows, but it cannot be overstated how much she did.
She did so much. She did so much. Alex.
I was just going to say, so I originally went in for Edie, didn't get it, got called back for Sam Trainer, and they were like, she's really London. I was like, I'm from London. I got this. I can do London. It's not a problem. So I go in, do London, I get the job, and then I'm recording like months later, and I see that there's lines coming up for Edie, and I was like, who's the woman that got that job then with the hot, sexy voice? I was like, go on, I'm ready. I was like, go on, I'm ready. Play it for me. And they played her voice. I was like, oh my God, she's so hot. Yeah, I totally get it. And then I had
really
I had like a real life crush on her in the booth playing Sam, who had a crush on her in the game. And I was like,
awesome.
Oh, now I hear. Now I'm on it. I got it. I see what went on in casting. So it was just very clever how they weaved it all together, shall we say? Oh, hi, Steve.
Steve Bloom is in the house. Yes. We were just sharing. Someone had asked, let's see who asked. Perhaps Rampancy asked our audition stories, if we had audition stories for the game. And yes, everybody's been just sharing their audition story.
Oh,
welcome.
nice. Okay.
Yes, welcome. If you have one to share, you're welcome to. If not, no worries.
Oh, I'll wait my turn in the queue. Everybody finish theirs first.
You were
good. I'm always late to the party. It's all right.
That's okay. You're on island time. It's all good.
That's true. Always now. Always. Yeah. Auditions. I don't remember auditioning for it, other than them handing me a big stack of paper about that thick and pointing to a guy on the wall and saying, do that. That was pretty much it. And so I just kind of went as deep as I could, and they said they were going to pitch him down beyond that, so I didn't really have to do that, but I couldn't help myself anyway. And for some reason they were silly enough to hire me.
Oh, you love that. And here we are.
I know, right?
Yeah. Steve, I thought you were going to say They just handed me a big stack of cash, and I didn't have to audition. I don't know about you guys.
I
I
actually
don't
made
throw money
the
out, but,
game
you know, I
around
said
that
yes.
character.
By
Was that old-
paper, that's what I meant. But people are more familiar with, you know,
What's
digital
that old
money.
Michael Jordan campaign? I want to be like Steve.
The kids today don't know what paper money is, so I try not to mention it. It makes them feel bad.
You know, I
I'm curious,
didn't
though.
know.
Stories.
Go ahead.
Sorry. It just
Oh,
sounds
yeah,
like that
Bill,
everybody auditioned for the game, and I auditioned from my home booth, and I'm just curious. Did most people, like, when was this, like, but 12 years ago? Did anybody have home booths then, or was that
Yes.
all like recent stuff? Like,
Yep. I had a home
Yeah?
booth.
So-
I had a home booth. Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you audition for your booth as well? Because I just got received my first audition was just a eulogy that they said they wanted, like, a cross between HAL 9000 and something with a little more emotion.
Yeah,
and that was it.
I'm so
Sorry, go
trained to forget them that I don't remember the first one. I just remember Ginny, like, literally crafting the character with me in the callback. That's what I remember. Bill, what was your experience?
Well, it was kind of unusual because I didn't know that I was reading for Morden. I was brought in to take over the role, and I didn't know that I was doing that. I was sent audio references. Nobody said you're auditioning for this role, and so I thought, well, okay, this is a species that occurs throughout the game, so I'm probably like an assistant, or, you know, they're like Vulcans or something, and they all kind of sound the same. And so I did those auditions, and the first day I was back, I came into the booth. I was asked, "Well, do you think? Yeah, so you think you got it? You think you could do the match?" And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about, but yes."
Sure, I'll do that.
I
That's
won't.
the actor,
Yeah.
actor comeback, right?
Yeah, and luckily enough, you know, I was close enough to the original voice. I was actually in two as incidental voices, so I had some familiarity with it. But I graduated to Morden in Mass Effect 3, and
That's so cool.
felt very fortunate.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Another mailroom to corner office story.
Right?
Yeah, right.
We have some cool specific story questions here. Robot Gobot asks, Courtney Taylor, if you could spend one night out on the town with Jack, where would you go and what would you do?
Duh, strip club.
Names, addresses, no.
Yeah, I mean, like, of course, drinking, strip club, like weird clubs down by LAX that shall not be named, that you need passwords and vouching to get into.
Oh my God, I love that.
I would do. So I had a friend who ended up, she was a bartender, and she worked at this club. And one night she was bartending there, and Hunter S. Thompson and Johnny Depp came in. And she ended up hanging out with them, driving around in a limousine all night in San Francisco.
Okay.
I can't disclose exactly what happened.
She remembered that?
I would want that and more with
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah. The
amazing.
friend, guys, the friend was.
Yes,
we know that,
no,
right?
you
Like,
would know if it
just
was
so we're
me
clear.
because I would be spilling it. No.
Oh my God, I love
She
your life.
was actually my roommate, and yeah, so I was like, yeah, it was wild. It was wild. It would make your toes curl for sure. So I would be more than happy to do whatever Jack told me to.
So great. I love that. All right, Steve from Greg. Steve, Grunt is like a half-ton child. Was it hard to find a voice for such a unique character?
I am a half-ton child.
I was going to say, I'm like,
I did not say it.
It wasn't
know.
hard. Yeah, that wasn't even a stretch at all. No, it's, you know, I like you guys. I'm sure you look at the image and something pops to mind, and if you can get it out of your body successfully, awesome.
Yeah.
So that's how I work with all of my characters.
Awesome. That's awesome. All right. Let's see. Bill
That can be applied to so many things in life. If you can get it out of your body successfully, it's awesome.
That's right.
human experience.
What
today.
an edge of team play right there.
Oh my God, Mark for the win.
It
Mark
becomes
for the win.
that becomes
So-
more true the older you get. You'll see. You guys
Oh
laugh
my
now.
God.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love
Let's
that.
get it out. Right.
Wow.
Yes, we're reading you, Wandering Loner.
Oh my God, too funny. Let's see. Okay, question for Mark and for me.
Mhm.
How did our perception of Commander Shepard evolve throughout the trilogy? This is from at Doofenshmirtz, because Doofenshmirtz did get the feeling that they became less of a blank slate and more of their own person as the trilogy progressed. Mark?
Okay. And hello, Kimberly. Good to see you.
Kimberly!
Hi, Kimberly.
What up, Kimmy?
Let me on. They would not let me.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome, Kimberly.
Thank
Yay!
you.
Ash,
Oh,
say
glad to be here.
hi.
Hi, everybody. I got to catch up.
Hi. Okay, so far we've covered. Do you have an audition story that you remember or want to share?
Oh, wow.
Or do
You
you,
don't
want to
have to.
come out with me and Jack and go drinking and get tattoos?
She's going
Yes.
out to string. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's it. That's the story right there.
That's
And
it.
Hunter S.
Shut up.
Thompson is involved as well. So
Right.
yes.
He's
Yes.
somewhere in there. And Johnny Depp, I think he's out, right? He's all good.
I'll tell you all later after,
Yeah.
after this
I
is
need to be
over.
full day.
Please.
We, our
Yeah.
imaginations are running wild. Yes.
Oh my God, I love this. I love
Someone
this
else is
so
coming.
much. Awesome. Okay, let's see.
What was the question?
The
Yes.
question
on-
was how did your perception of Commander Shepard evolve throughout the trilogy?
Right. This was something I think Jennifer let me know if I'm totally off base, but I think you might have experienced this as well. The way that it was explained to me is that as we went, they sort of let a little more leeway in terms of Shepard, especially like showing the toll that the war was taking on Shepard. And also we got to watch Shepard develop these relationships. You know, Shepard going into the game obviously had relationships in their life,
Yeah.
but these characters that they'd gone through the games with, these were their closest friends. These were their true companions through all of this. And so that made it possible to sort of humanize Shepard more and more. When Shepard started very by the books, whether renegade or paragon, very much a military officer used to dealing with pressure and giving orders under pressure and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And especially by the time we got to 3, there was the, okay, now you can show a little more vulnerability. Now you can let that, that the shell crack a little bit, especially after the events of 2, you've literally died and been resurrected, that kind of thing. What does that do to a person?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Spoiler alert for 2010.
I don't know.
But yeah, but that was really the biggest evolution. And as I mentioned earlier, Shepard is a wide range of possibilities, and a lot of them are dictated by player choice.
Yeah.
So that was something that was, I think, common to all versions of Shepard, whether Jennifer was playing it or I was playing it, that by the time you got to 3, there was a real sense of getting past the armor in a real sense, because you didn't really see them out of the armor that much in the first game, but also emotionally and spiritually even.
Yeah, definitely.
And what of you, Jen? Jennifer, would you agree with that?
I would agree with everything. Yeah, I agree with that completely. And I think coupled right next to that, I've talked about this in other spaces, that the acting evolved so much in games during the evolution of the game production, that when we started, we still had the visuals that caused us to just push a tiny bit in our performance, just kind of like dress it up a tiny bit. And by the time we got to 3, I loved just relaxing into where you would shoot a film, that kind of acting, which that's my happy space. That's my joy. And that was my experience as well. Everything you said. Yeah. We have a lovely comment here from Bree Dominic. This is not really a story, but a message to the wonderful cast. This is just my 3rd N7 day, but it's been a gift to accidentally discover an amazing franchise with a very talented and passionate cast that share the same love for it as the fans. Mass Effect has provided me comfort through recent struggles and has been the bridge to meeting wonderful people over the last 3 years. Yes, we have an amazing community. It is your passion and your continuous support for the games that keep the franchise and the community alive every year. Hopefully we get to see or hear you again, taking part in the continuation of the Mass Effect story in any way. It's been a good ride with you all. Yes, I vote yes to all that.
Aw.
Jennifer, I have a question for you. That's
Thank
such a great comment.
Yeah.
Because you are in the Guinness Book of World Records, and because you are kind of the
Steve is the lead.
well,
But yes,
all right, there you
yes,
go. The
yes.
two of you. I mean, this is a question just basically if you have such a vantage point. How does this game? I mean, how does this game distinguish itself relative to the other games that you've done? Is it in its own unique universe? Is it individuated in a way that's different than other games?
I'll start, but I also would love to know Steve's experience of this, whatever your authentic experience is, Steve. But yeah, definitely. It has a very special place in my heart. I have to be careful when people ask me my favorite roles, etc. Like, I don't want to prefer one child over the other, but this is definitely a child I really enjoy spending time with. So, it's a really special community. I think the game took some chances when it was first created that made it really near and dear to people that strove for authenticity. And at the risk of whatever this risk is, I've been living in Canada again for 3.5 years now. And there's something about the Canadian approach to inclusiveness and voting for humanity very, very actively with your policies and with your dollars and with your choices as a company that I think set this game up to be really inclusive and really universal. And then the way they just created the whole machinery of the game was so groundbreaking. I think it really deserves the special place that it has. Yeah. Yeah. Steve, what was your, you have a pretty darn wide perspective. How do you feel about that question?
Well, I can't address it in the same way that you do because I was basically a minor character, I think, in the grand scheme of things in this game. But it helped me personally because I'm emotionally underdeveloped and Grunt is a baby, so it was just some nice free paid therapy for me, and the fact that people actually responded to it was just a bonus. It's kind of amazing.
That's awesome. I love that. We have thanks, Raph. That's really cool. We have a question here for Kimberly from Laser Blazer. Kimberly, if you went to high school with Ash, do you think the two of you would sit at the same lunch table?
Oh, that's a really good question. Well, when I went to school, I was kind of like, I was a roamer, you know what I mean? I was in like with I was going to say the cool kids, the nerds, I was in marching band, I had all those. So I'm pretty sure I would have hung out with Ash too, because Ashley's got her whole own mode. She's a poet. She's, a badass. So I'm sure I would have wanted to hang out with Ashley for sure.
Awesome. What would you have had for lunch? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I know. Probably. Oh, that's a really good question. I mean, we had a great pizza bar.
There you go. Pizza with Ash. Pizza with Ash.
Pizza with Ash. That's a cute question. Thank you for that.
Yeah. DC Spud wants to know, how hard was it to record Legion's final lines while still doing the robot thing and not sounding too emotional? Because I know I sure was, Spud says.
Which freaking time? Because I died like 17 times. I will say that doing Mass Effect 2, that was the one where I was surprised that I was dying, and it was a really beautifully written scene. All of them actually, because there were, I guess, I don't know, 3 or 4 in in the second game, but that's the. I mean, I'm like Steve is an emotional child. I obviously can't access my emotions at all, so it was really easy for me. So it was. We set the tone way at the beginning, or Ginny did, as far as cinematic acting, and that I could have the curiosity of a child through the mind of Einstein kind of thing, and so even when you get to the death stuff, it's just kind of just innocent. It's innocent emotion coming through, but with the intellectual understanding of the macro that prevents it from being hysterical or anything more than what it was, at least for my performance. And then in the third game, it was like, yeah, I've died. I'm used to this.
Kill me again.
No. It wasn't a surprise. Also, the third game was kind of trippy because I had to record the voice. I would do scenes two times or three times. I would do it in either if you let me live in second, if you kept me alive during the second game, in the third game I was much more friendly to you. If you let me die, then I don't know you in the third game, so I'm much more austere and remote. And then there was like the generic in between kind of takes as well. So it was a little more of a technical experience doing ME3. Plus, I'm not that much in that game. Whereas ME2, it was a little bit of a surprise coming into it. So
yeah. Oh, I'm dying today. Oh, okay. Well, it's been fun. Allie, question from Vesper. Where were you when you discovered that Liara was in the teaser for the next Mass Effect game?
Oh, that is a very good question. I have a couple of friends who are big Mass Effect fans, and they're really, really close friends of mine. So usually they are the first ones to alert me of anything Mass Effect before I ever see it in the trades or online or on social. So I believe it was probably, I think it was probably Ed. Ed probably did it. Sent me. He doesn't give me any warning or, hey, have you seen this? It's just a link. And I'm like, oh God, what is this? So that's where I get my news. Thanks, Ed. So I clicked on the link and I was like, wait, what? I believe I was on my couch between my 5 dogs. and I think I just was looking at the link and I had to play it again. And then probably like a lot of you, I had to try to zoom in on it, look at it. I was like, is that heroes of blue?
Asking as a voice of an entire
Yeah,
species.
on my couch between my dogs.
You didn't know anything?
No, I had no idea. Do we ever?
No.
Come on, man.
No.
But
go work on
anything.
Fruit Fly. Yeah, go work on the
Well,
new
and
game
also,
Fruit Fly. Yeah.
I think as we all know, seeing something like that is no guarantee of anything. Because I was like, is that Liara? Is that Liara's daughter? Is that Liara's mother? Is that, is that back in time? Is that forward in time? Is that, I know as much as anyone, but it was really shocking. And I was just relaxing on my sofa. So I think probably, and again, it's almost like seeing the gift, a giant wrapped gift at your birthday party when you were a kid, and you don't know what's in it. You have no idea.
Yeah.
You're just like, is that my dad playing a trick on me again? Is it like the box within the box? I need to put a marshmallow in there, or is that like a bike? So I think that's kind of where I was at on that, and probably on my sofa with my dogs. I know I was.
You had a cool dad.
Yeah.
My dad would do those things. Yes. Sometimes it would be dollar bills taped together, and just the little dollar bill would be sticking out. So you don't know if you're going to pull it out and get it $100 bills, or if it's going to be like 2. So.
Keeps you guessing. Keeps you guessing.
But thanks. That's an awesome question, guys. And it's your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. Ash Shroka, why do you think, from Johan 362, I hope I said that right, Johan, why do you think Tally is a massive romance favorite for the fan base?
Oh, the mystery. I think it's the it's like she has so much vulnerability. She's like the humanness of her when she gets befuddled, and she's so clear, and she's so strong, and she's so smart, and she's so capable. And then when she moves into a romance situation, it's like all the armor that you still see is no longer there. And I think ultimately what we want is to see people in their most human, I'm using that word very generally, because but in their most vulnerable, real, like soft places. And I think that's part of why she's
a romance.
That makes
favorite.
perfect sense. Yeah, that's a great take on it. We have some great, sweet shout outs here from Oshin says, I'd love to give a shout out to the entire cast. You guys have made lines on a page into a family of characters and one that's brought so much light in dark times. To the point I'm more excited for N7 Day than my own birthday, even after what, 15 years? Don't ask how long. Don't
Wait,
ask how
really?
long, Oshin. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Todd Brooks says, I named my youngest son Shepherd because of this beautiful game series. Oh, that's
my
so
gosh.
sweet.
Not Grunt. Come
That's
on.
adorable.
I know, right? Well,
Why would you not?
Missed opportunity.
question for the whole cast.
Yes.
What nerdy things besides Mass Effect are you into right now? Games, movies, TV shows, whatever. Go.
I'll field that first. I am currently sitting in Lumley Castle in the UK, where I'm here for D&D in a Castle, which is several weeks of just playing Dungeons and Dragons in a castle, and I'm one of the dungeon masters. So, yeah, what Dungeons and Dragons is one of the nerdy things.
Yeah.
All the nerdy things:
I
action
feel like
figures,
that's a
comic
nerd
books.
dunk.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's many nerd things.
I think that might be the nerdiest thing I've ever heard, actually.
Yeah,
It's
who's
incredibly
gonna follow
nerdy.
that, guys?
That's
I
super
I'm
great.
sorry.
Super great.
We win.
Look at the
Who else?
castle I'm in. I'm in a castle.
I know it's
I
so
love it. I'm
perfect.
so jelly.
It's so you. It's so perfect. I love the way you live your life. It's so awesome. Okay,
I'm
who
actually
else?
sitting where I dungeon master. I've got all my little dice and things in front of me.
Oh, it looks just like your house.
Oh, thank you.
Okay,
True.
who else? Everybody else, sound off. Nerdy stuff you're into right now. Go.
Wordle.
Same.
I'm just obsessed with
Yes.
crossword puzzles, words. I don't know. Is
Wait,
that nerd?
Kimberly, no, I have to ask you, have you tried Connections, which is
I
the follow-on
just-
game from Wordle?
I just discovered it.
Connections is great.
I get
I'm
every
Connections
single
is
day.
great.
I'm
Sometimes
obsessed.
I gotta try this.
Why do
one.
they
I
make you
wake
wait?
up
Why do
to
they
like
make you
5
wait
minutes.
in between the games?
I don't know, but sometimes I wait up for like 5 minutes past midnight so
To
that I
play
can
again.
just play it fresh because I just can't get it. It's like my crack, basically. It's like my crack.
Oh
And
my
I'm there
God.
like
I love
1
it.
minute past midnight.
York
and
Times has-
I'm up on my phone needing this.
I know. I love it.
Between New York Times, between the games section, which has Connections, and it also has Spelling Bee,
Yeah.
which I
love
literally
I love
now
it.
wake up like every 2 hours in the middle of the night because I'm like, oh my God, I'm only at nice. I'm
I
only
have
at
to get you
nice.
genius.
I gotta get
help
to genius.
Got it.
Between that and this is so off brand for me, but between Spelling Bee, Connections, and the food section and the real estate section of the New York Times, like I never get out of bed.
That sounds divine. What
It
else? What's
I'm
everybody
always
else?
like,
into?
I'm always like, which apartment on the Upper East Side are they gonna pick? I don't know. Like I'm like typing in, like I would definitely not get the garden apartment. That's insane. You're gonna get rats. And then I'm like, but post-war and a doorman.
Wow.
This
I
is
love it.
I love real
it.
estate, food, and words.
Dude.
Wow.
I'm
So
on.
perfect.
See, this is why we're friends.
And-
Anybody
and
else?
vintage clothes.
What else?
Does watching obscure YouTube videos about the Crimean War count?
Totally. That is
That's
a nerd.
pretty-
That's
Okay.
nerdvana.
It's pretty.
Okay. all right.
I'm obsessed with the Huberman Lab podcast right now. I like walk in the mornings and learn things about brain function and biochemical this. And did you know that there's a part of your brain called the ACC, and if you do something you really don't want to do once a day, you make the ACC stronger, and you will have more willpower available to you when you need it.
Well, the
Wow.
Oh my goodness, what is
That's
what's
business.
this called again?
What's the
because
podcast?
I do stuff I
What is
don't
the
want to do
podcast?
all day long.
Yeah, it's the Huberman Lab podcast. Andrew Huberman Lab podcast.
So, like, give me an
Oh.
example of something that you would do, like that you don't want to do, like
Get
what,
out of
like,
bed.
physical thing, like
Clean cat
It can
poop.
be anything. It can be making a call you don't want to make. It can be doing an exercise. Like this morning, I did like a beach hike, and this one beach has a massive staircase. It's probably 4 stories tall,
oh,
and I maybe 3.5. I didn't want to do it, and I made myself do it like a couple times. And I was like, I don't want to do this.
There's an
And
interesting
Yeah.
a self trick you can do too, which is apparently we're really susceptible to countdowns. So if you don't want to do
Yes.
something, you just start counting, knowing that when you
Yep.
get to 1, you've got to go do it, and it'll
Yep.
get you to go do it.
Oh,
I've been
that's cool.
doing online about the intermittent fasting and the cold plunges
Yep.
and all of that stuff That's been my nerdy thing that I've been getting into. I lost 15
Same.
pounds in 2 months because of intermittent.
What?
Oh my
So,
God.
I'm
I'm
a
fasting
fan.
one day. I'm doing
Fitness
like
with Legion.
24 to 42 hours once a week.
Oh wow.
Mostly 24.
Whoa.
But
You know,
Wait,
DC,
you're not
about that.
eating for
About that
42?
wait, well, so many questions at once.
sorry?
What, Courtney?
You're not eating for 42 hours?
Only every now and then. That one's only like once a month or so, once every few weeks. Every week is 24 hours. Every week's
But it's
24 hours.
great.
DC, yeah, it's awesome.
You don't need it as much as you think you do.
You don't.
I didn't say I needed it.
When I do eat, I eat
I'm with her.
good.
I'm going to pizza with Courtney.
Yeah. You know what I
Oh my
did last
God.
night?
What'd you
I
have?
baked a loaf of bread and I
And I
ate it.
ate it. Yes.
Yes.
Did you dip
I
it warm
baked
in
me
olive
some
oil?
Irish soda bread,
Oh,
gluten
Takes a little
free.
bread
Put
in
some
Put it in-
extra
In
goodness
olive
in there.
oil with a little drizzle of balsamic and do
Nope.
that. Oh,
Nope.
God, that's my favorite. Or
Didn't
melt
do
butter
just
on
ate
it.
it
Free.
with
Where
my
was my
greasy little
invitation?
paw out of the tin.
God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yes.
So good. So
Yeah.
okay. Anybody else? Weird nerdy stuff.
Wow. This
I'm
is good.
obsessed right now with
Oh, and-
Oh, hang on. Ash, what do you got?
I'm pretty obsessed with quantum leaping and timeline jumping.
Oh,
And like
yes.
I'm
Are you-
really into that right now. So the quantum physics world, I'm like deep diving. It's like all I want to talk about or think about. And milk candies from other countries. I'm really tasting those.
Okay, we're
Especially the ones
We're
that
back,
have
Ash,
like
thanks.
it's all about texture, and I'm really
Oh.
trying a lot of different
Mm.
versions of those. Some of them are terrible.
I love this.
Ash,
Well, that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Ash, I did have a question for you. So is that like the Berenstain Bears thing where you're jumping into different universes?
That I don't know that reference, but it sounds like it works.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Mandela effect. that's
Mandela.
what-
You're
Yeah.
referring to the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My question on all this
Yes.
is time sequential or parallel? I don't know. DC, what were you gonna say? You were chiming in on the quantum thing. Or on the food
Oh.
thing. The bread?
I can't hit the right. No. I was just tagging on with there were the three things, which was the intermittent fasting, options trading. A long story, but it's been a good year finally. And the third one was AI. I find AI super fascinating. Aside from how it can possibly replace all our jobs, the actual where it truly can go is super exciting in the long run, I think. So
We're gonna talk.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk later because I have many questions.
So,
Allie, Allie, I love you
Allie.
so much
Oh, yes.
because I can just see you staring into the computer. And I was like, you guys started talking about like quantum physics, and Allie and I are all.
I was too.
I like dogs,
I like dogs. That's I was doing it.
I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
my puppy.
and I have to
Yeah.
eat all the time.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
This is why Allie and I are friends. You
I
guys.
was
not
wondering
stop.
what Courtney was eating because I was like, I want to eat too. Like I need.
Oh, that
to
was
eat.
more bread, guys.
Oh no, trust me.
And if you guys hear my stomach growling, just let me know.
Right? No.
I keep muting because it's going.
Feed me.
I eat my face off. I eat my face off just in specific blocks.
Yes, yes.
yeah.
If I fasted, like there are certain medical situations that I need to dive into that I won't mention here on this panel because and they're saying I have to fast, and I keep putting it off because I'm like, that's gonna be really hard for me because I eat about every 5 minutes.
Do the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
countdown. Do the
Yeah.
countdown.
I'm gonna do the countdown. I'm gonna do something I don't want to do.
Leave your house.
Yes.
Leave your house.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
will do
first
that.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
Get out of the
Yes.
house. Go someplace where you can't get any of it.
That's
Okay.
what I'm
I
gonna
have,
do.
I have a question. I don't know. I don't know if we can go past 2. I'm okay to go past 2, but I don't know what everybody's deal
Cool.
is.
Cool.
Anybody have
Yeah,
a time
go
to
for it,
shoot?
babe.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right. All right. So
Listen,
Just
Jen.
for what it's worth,
Yes,
Jen, I have a hard out. I got to get across town for a rehearsal, just so you know.
Sunday
All right.
rehearsal.
you jump when you need to jump, my friend. Let me find it. I think
Bill?
there was a question for you, Bill. Let me
It's a
find it.
workshop.
Let me see. Let me see. Did I
Cool.
get your question? Okay.
Quick fun
Bill,
fact,
before you
guys,
go,
just
yes.
about Bill. Before you get to Bill,
Yes.
I'm going to get to Bill because Bill is an incredibly talented theater actor.
Yes, he
In
is.
case you guys did
Oh.
not know that,
Thank
you're
you so
ever
kindly.
in Los Angeles, and Bill Salyers has posted anything about any of the live theater stuff that he's doing, you should really truly go see him because all of the stuff that he's done goes back to his amazing theater roots, incling iCarly.
Thank you.
Hey,
Bill, what are you doing?
Dramatic.
What are you in rehearsal for?
What is your next thing?
It's a workshop for something that Ensemble Studio Theater West is doing called it's a premiere of a new play called American Lies. And it's quite intriguing. I play someone very unlike myself, which is always very fun.
That's going to be really fun.
It sounds timely and provocative.
It does.
It
Bill,
is.
do you have time for a parting question?
Yes.
It is 2:00.
Yes,
Great.
ma'am.
Morden plays our eccentric Sumerian doctor with plenty of quirks, but with a great heart. Were there any lasting memories from voice acting Morden that stick in your mind as a fond memory?
Well, the thing that sticks in my mind the most, of course, was doing the final scene, the death scene, because I think that I was getting tears from the director and she was getting tears from the actor. So yeah, that was really the redemption. I'm a sucker for redemption stories.
Yeah.
So the fact that Morden had one that you could get to, that has always stayed with me. Yeah,
that's beautiful. Thank you so much for being here, Bill. You jump when you need to. By the way, cast, if anybody sees something in the chat, I do not have the bandwidth to monitor the questions in you guys and the chat because I'm not a pro like Ash Sevilla.
I do have one thing, Jennifer.
Yeah.
We were talking about the nerdy stuff. Apparently folks are really interested in seeing all of you play Dungeons and Dragons with me in a one shot. So we'll figure that out. We'll work
I
that
would
out.
love to. Okay. There's a question
Me
here
too.
that I hadn't
100%.
touched on yet, which is, and Mark, I'm gonna call on you to name it. This one,
of course.
and I invite anyone else to lean on Mark for help to answer this question. Which Dungeons and Dragons class would your Mass Effect character be, and why?
Okay. All right. So Bill just left. I think Morden, obviously, he's going to be one of the more intellectual classes, probably something intelligence-based. Wizard makes sense, but I think Artificer might make sense a little more. Although Tally would lean towards Artificer because of her particular skills. Let's see. I mean, I would think Jack straight up Wild Magic Barbarian, I would have to say. Going into the Rage, definitely. I would think
that's Mass Effect 2. What would Mass Effect 3 be?
Well, barbarians are, they aren't necessarily always raging. Sometimes they learn to channel and focus their rage. And I would think that Jack, by that point, had learned to use it as a tool, if you would agree with that characterization, but less letting it spill over into her everyday life. Let's see. Liara. That, again, spellcaster class of some kind. I'm going to say, probably you could go, again, probably wizard, I would say, because she's very intellectual. Let's see.
Somebody in the chat voted her as a cleric as well.
Oh, cleric? I can totally see cleric. Yeah, cleric works.
Cleric votes.
Cleric works. Yeah. Definitely. Well, Legion is obviously a Warforged of some kind. Yes. That's sort of like the magical robot. So you are the magical robot, TC. Class wise, you can go in a few different directions for that. But moving on, let's see. I got to do everybody.
Somebody said, I'll offer you up some help. Somebody said Caden is definitely a mage. And then someone else said Caden was something else. What did they?
I'd say maybe
Paladin.
sorcerer.
Caden's a paladin.
Oh, paladin.
Paladin.
Yeah.
That's it. Paladin. Yeah.
Actually,
I came up with that all by myself, guys.
Actually, you could go paladin sorcerer because you can multi-class as well. Once we get into multi-classing, all bets are off. I'm going to say Ash. Now, Ash is a straight up soldier, so I could probably see fighter class, possibly ranger leading there. And now that I think of it, Grunt would probably also be a barbarian, specifically bear totem barbarian.
Also a space racist. Where does that?
Oh, yes. Well, there is that. There is that. So yeah, definitely human for Ashley. And go again. Now we're also going species as well. Like Liara would obviously be some kind of elf. There are sea elves that have literally have blue skin. Yes. Shepherd, of course, can go all over the place in terms of class.
Yes,
and have I at least touched on everybody who's here on the screen?
Alex.
No,
Alex.
Oh, trainer. Yes, trainer. Would probably be at least starting sort of lower level, probably an apprentice. I'm going to say mage, but Well,
Lower level.
no, because like just join the alliance.
Somebody's
Fine.
tagged Trainer as a bard. Somebody has said Trainer as
Bard,
a
I
bard.
can like Bard,
We're getting
yeah.
a lot of
But
bard
again,
action.
maybe a little bit of artificer for the toothbrush, just for the
Yeah,
toothbrush,
okay.
with the Mass Effect fields.
Okay.
Yeah.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Meir, Dungeon Master.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Amazing.
I'll change my mind on all of these, I'm sure. But
let's see. We have some lovely comments. Just from Jester017. Just wanted to say a huge thank you to the crew for keeping up this tradition even so many years later. I work in games, and sometimes it's easy to get discouraged with all the craziness that happens in this industry. But seeing the continuous love and amazing vibes in this community is a reminder that it's all worth it. Y'all are awesome and the best cast fans could have asked for. Happy N7 Day, everyone. Much love. Oh, that's so cool. That's
totally
so
worth
cool. There was a cool question about what. Well, we'll save that one for the last question. We'll take a couple more questions and then we'll wrap it up. What traits or character qualities do you feel you share the most with your character? I'm gonna speak up. Just sheer friggin' stubbornness. That was mine.
Solution oriented.
Yes. Good one.
Loyalty.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, loyal and determined.
That's what I was going to say for mine. Just stick-to-itiveness.
There you go.
Yeah.
Courtney's
Action
face says it all right now. Courtney's face just says it all right now.
People skills.
Playing well with others, right?
That's right. People skills. Empathy. No.
Flexibility.
I feel that I share the bitch for love traits that Jack has.
Friend beast.
She's tender on the inside somewhere in there, and then the best defense is a good offense.
We call that the iron marshmallow in my family.
Yeah.
Okay, who else?
My acting teacher called it bitch for love.
I love that.
That's a good one.
Action before thought for me.
What was
it? Action before thought.
First thing
or without thought. Yeah.
Ready, fire, aim. Oh.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow. Oh my God. I think for me, it would be my sweet moves.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's good. Mark, did you vote? Did you pipe up on this one?
I would say it's my ability to be whatever the person controlling me wants to be.
Oh wow!
Right, you're an actor. You're an actor. That's it.
Yes.
Wow. Yes. There's a lot in that.
Invite me to your party. I will be whatever you want me to be.
Exactly.
And the best at it.
Oh well, thank
you. Yes.
No doubt.
Yep. Did we get everybody? Okay.
I do own an electric toothbrush, so I have that in common with my character.
Nice.
I am quite good at chess, and I have a lot of self-doubt because my initial answer was going to be I'm quite smart, and then I was like, no, don't say that. You can't say that live on a stream. That sounds really arrogant. And then I realized, like, oh my God, it's actually self-doubt and anxiety, which is what Trainer has.
And intelligence. All rolled into one.
Go back to therapy. I need to go back to therapy.
No, you just need to watch Barbie again.
Yes.
You just need to watch Barbie again.
that'll do
So
it.
when someone says, "You're so smart, you're amazing," and you're like, "I know."
Oh God,
Wow, I am. Thanks.
I need to go back to that movie. Let's see, Raph. I don't think we asked you this question yet. Caden's journey throughout Mass Effect has so many peaks and valleys. Do you have a moment where you feel proud or a sense of pride with Caden?
Yeah, I mean, look, the relationship, the fact that BioWare allowed Caden to have relationships with men, and that fact that that began to sort of happen, Mark, those things that we did. I mean, and I know there were other characters as well, but that was something that at the time was risky, and that was thrilling that happened. I loved the romance part of it was so thrilling, just because of the fact that it was all in the subtext. It was all kind of in the simmer of it. And I love those scenes. I love the writing. It was always the writing, the writing, right? That's what BioWare did. And, that's that thing about, this game apparently brought more women into gaming than any other game before it. And I had all the women shake their heads, which is because of these relationships. They created these amazing relationships. So I love that. And then I just remember that moment when the slide came on the screen, and I realized that we were all had hit the end, and just that moment of kind of like, oh wow, this is gonna end.
Yeah.
And I remember sort of saying to the voice over the, over the microphone, essentially, people are going to really react very strongly to this information when it hits. And I just remember, because we saw it, we had it in this little, in our little rooms, a year before it got out. And so those are moments that stick with me.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Alex, at the end of ME3, Shepard got to say goodbye to all of her squad mates. This is from Say Normandy. I know Trainer's goodbye is before that mission, but if she was given the opportunity, what do you think she would say to Shepard? Besides, give me back my
I'd be like, love you, babe. Come back in one piece,
Yeah.
Love you, babe. Obviously, to Jen and to Mark, I'd be like, good luck, Commander. Yeah, cool, peace.
We have a couple more comments from the community. At CJ Abbott says, easily my favorite series with phenomenal voice acting. Mark Meer is the sound of my childhood. And Gaming Eagle says, I want to say thank you to everyone involved with Mass Effect. You are all literal lifesavers. You all saved my life. You gave me a sense of belonging and I didn't feel like the monster I was made to feel like in real life when I played Mass Effect. All I can say is thank you. That's very sweet. That's very lovely. By the way, speaking of the community and things at large, for those of you who came in late, BioWare has been incredibly generous and given us a whole bunch of codes for games and for several codes for gear from the store. And those cast members who are doing live signings, a couple of them will get codes to give away during their signings if they would like to. And so just pay attention to the live signings. Everybody's signing autographs after. So many people are doing it live. I'm doing an offline screen signing, so I will not be giving away codes, but many of our live cast members will give away some of these codes. They are for the Gear Store. They are for ME Legendary Edition on PC Steam Global, Xbox Global, PlayStation North America, and PlayStation Europe. So stay tuned for those. Yes. Thank you so much, BioWare. That's so lovely.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, BioWare.
All right, our last couple questions. What legacy has Mass Effect left for sci-fi? I'm going to combine two of them. Hold on. Yeah. What legacy has Mass Effect left for sci-fi fans and gamers in 2023? Combined with, what are you most excited to see in the next game in regards to storyline? So each person dig into that question. Legacy we've left, and what would you like to see?
I think that you are part of the answer to that legacy question, Jennifer, because now we had seen heroes like the male version of Commander Shepard quite a bit in various video games, but I think this was the first, correct me if I'm wrong, but this was one of the first games where they did not give the female lead a shall we say, revealing costume, or a costume that was much different than that of the male protagonist. And moreover, it was treating the male and female version of Shepard as, yes, these are the same military leader character, and this is what you're going into. And I think that legacy is a really important one. Beyond that, you talked about the sort of I mean, Star Trek, of course, has their diversity and infinite combinations thing, but Mass Effect really did forward that as well. So that's part of the legacy.
Yeah.
As far as what I'm looking forward to, there are endless possibilities. Again, as Ali said, we know about as much as you know. So it could go anywhere past futures. Who can say? Are we going to see? Is this going to be the First Contact War? Is this going to be far in the far future? Right. Is this going to be where could we go? The Codex is very big, as those who have spent in-game time reading it know, and that's a very well thought out and fleshed out universe. So the possibilities are
Mass Effect babies.
Mass Effect babies. There we go.
Mass Effect the animated series. I'm in for that. Just to add to that, what I always tell everybody in the community is email them and tell them what you want. They don't know if you don't tell them. Telling us doesn't. We appreciate it so much, but it actually won't get anything done. Telling the company what you want may get something done. So
you got a different ending from Mass Effect.
The whole DLC was all because of that voice of the ending. What happened? This is a very responsive company. So if you feel strongly about an animated series, we would encourage you to speak up.
So that's not all of us in it.
So the question on the floor is what. Continuing to talk about the legacy of Mass Effect for sci-fi fans and gamers in the current times, and what are you most excited to see in the next game? So I thought Mark
I'm most excited. We're most excited to see us in the next game.
Yes.
Right?
Oh yeah.
What she said.
Email. We're more.
The teaser poster they put out for 5 shows what looks to be a crater and the outline of Legion, and there looks like there's a little dead Geth in that little poster. So all I know is, and I am the voice of all Geth. So that's in my head.
Yes.
Also, side note, Courtney did a little heart thing, and hearts came out on my screen when she did that. And I
is that just you?
You did it again. How did you do that?
Everybody?
Only you have that power. How do you do that?
She finds hearts.
How did you do that?
What? Raphael's
Wait, Raphael just did it.
Only the best people.
We're going to overload the system.
Is mine not good enough?
Forget it, Steve.
You have to really feel it.
Courtney is the pure of heart.
That's right.
Come on, is mine not good enough?
Chosen one. Oh my God! Wait,
I can make.
We're gonna copy. We're gonna see for the next 20 minutes just all going trying to get the
sad.
What am I doing wrong?
We're like trained seals.
So guys, this is just to let you know, our signings are going to be amazing and smooth since we couldn't get on earlier, and now all of us are basically just sitting there going.
I can't even talk. Again.
Oh, I miss Ash right now. I miss Ash Sevilla right now. This is his bag. And I'm like, oh yeah, remember you're supposed to do Ash's job right now. Oh, we miss you. All right, let's see.
I'll teach you guys after.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. Thanks everybody for coming.
Jen, you're amazing as always.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thanks, you guys. Can we go around and share where everybody can find each of us on social media? So I'll just go around where my screen. Alex, please tell them where they can find you and what you're up to. If there's anything you'd like to share right now that you're doing that you'd like to share.
There's nothing I can share. Sorry. There's nothing I can share, but in a really good way. In like 5 years, you'll all be very happy.
Yeah.
But you can go to @AlexWiltonRegan, which is my Instagram. It's just @AlexWiltonRegan. And I'm actually going to go there now in the next 10 minutes when this wraps up to do my Streamily signing. And I have 2 very cool codes from BioWare that Jen has very kindly given me that I will be gifting out to you. So come and join, and you may get a code for PlayStation Europe, I think it was, that you gave me, right, Jen? Because I'm the one in London.
Yep,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like it matters because it's virtual, but I'm like, you're closest. Maybe it'll work.
Hey.
DC, share with what you'd like to share about what's coming up for you and where people can find you. Okay, DC.
Oh,
DC.
Whoops. Hang on. I'm new to TikTok.
Everybody.
DCDouglas.com or Instagram, MR Douglas, Mr. DC Douglas, and nowhere else on social media because it's a toxic place, people. And as far as like Alec said, in the next 3 years, you're going to be like really happy. Though I can't say Tekken 8, I'll be in that because they did show that little teaser thing. And there's a thing on Apple Plus that I really get excited to tell people about, but I can't yet. So anyway. So.
Yay! Yay!
Oh, and I'm signing. I'm not doing a live signing, but I will be doing all my signings this week. You can either get them with video or without video. Cheaper without, funner with. Funner? Anyway, that's me.
That's correct.
Funner.
As long as the cat's there, that's all I care about.
Exactly. What's the cat's name?
Oh,
Catch I've ever seen.
what's your
DC,
cat's
what's
name?
your cat's name?
That. Sorry, my mic thing is. So this is Leo, who's a snowshoe Siamese with a little weird rabbit tail, and then I got Monkey who's sleeping underneath. You can't see, so who's also Siamese.
Oh, Ash Roka, socials and anything you'd like to share.
Yes, I am mostly on Instagram, ash.soroka, and I post everything there, and I will be doing a signing shortly after we end here as well, and then again probably this week sometime.
Perfect.
And I will also be doing some giveaways there. I'll have some codes from Jen. And let's see. I have a film that I'm in is coming out, released in theaters on December 8th. I will post about that. Our Almost Completely True Love Story, it's called. And then also it will be streaming. And and then the other stuff in a few years, I'll share about that stuff too.
Excellent.
Oh, and I'm on Cameo now.
Oh, cool.
I think a lot of you guys, a lot of us are. So
Yes,
find me on Cameo.
yes. And by the way, a brief shout out to Streamily for being our tech platform, and to Campbell at Streamily for dealing with the enormous tech challenges of getting all these people on here and being so great and so consistent and so supportive. Really appreciate you. Steve, where can people find you? And is there anything you want to share, sir? What's going on?
Bloomvoxstudios.com for voiceover training, stevebloomvoices.com for my voiceover stuff, at Bloomspew on most of the socials or under my name on Facebook. And I can't really talk about any projects, but I will be signing next week at OG Collectibles in Downey. And then I've got Streamly signing here in about 9 minutes.
Nice.
So
Nice.
Oh.
Nice. Kimberly.
Oh, okay. Hi. So Kimberly, it's at Kimberly Brooks 11 for Instagram. And I'm gonna be doing a quick little signing right after this, like everybody else. And I'm working on a lot of fun stuff, but I never know dates or anything. So I just don't say anything. So something cool will be coming out and I will post about it. So
Excellent.
thank
Excellent.
you.
Raphael.
Yeah, so my signing is going to be tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern time. You can find me there, and I'll maybe have some codes as well. That'll be fun. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, BioWare. I'm in theaters still, which is wonderful. I can finally talk about it with The Exorcist, which is done really well. And
wow.
it's really fun to be a part of such a huge franchise. So that's cool. And the movie that I did, the documentary that I made called Only in Theaters, is now on Amazon, which is about a family business art house cinema chain. It's also done really well and played a lot of theaters. And so that's and we're all now back to work. So
Yes.
at least the strike is soon to be over. We have to read the terms. I know, Courtney, I see you looking at me, but I am encouraged, and we're moving in the right direction.
Yes. And voice actors still have to deal with their contracts. So we're waiting and hoping. We're waiting and hoping. Allie.
Wow, I mean, following that, wow, I might see the second movie, but definitely not the first one, Raphael.
I love you, and I will not see it. Yeah.
I will.
Nope.
Good, but scary.
Mark
Scary
Sullivan.
from the
Mark, you can see it from me too.
I'll say it twice.
Congrats, everybody, on all of this amazing work. Most of my stuff I can't talk about either. There's a streaming show that's been out for a little bit, but it was kind of under the radar, called Exception on Netflix. So if you haven't seen it yet, I haven't been able to talk about it for a while, and now I feel better about talking about it. I guess we could, but strike. Also, I may be coming to Birmingham the weekend of December 2nd and 3rd.
England or Alabama?
England. And thank you for clarifying, because when I first got the email, I was like, Birmingham? I'm going to Birmingham?
No,
And everyone, no.
not Birmingham.
Nope.
Birmingham.
No, and Birmingham. Yes.
And if Allie's not there, she'll be with us. A bunch of us are going to be at the LA Comic-Con that weekend also.
Yeah.
Doing a panel and signing. Yeah.
Yep,
in
what she
Birmingham.
said. I was
Yes.
headed that direction.
Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
what she said.
Go,
So
Allie, go.
No, I'm glad. I'm totally. Thank you. Thanks for bringing it up. And yeah, working out a lot of fun stuff that I can't wait to talk about when I can talk about it. And thank you guys for all being here. You can find me on Instagram at Miss Allie Hillis. That's where I am most active. And I did have a signing scheduled for today, but as happens in our world, I am now getting on a plane. So unfortunately, heartfelt apologies. I am so sorry. I won't be able to be here today on Instagram, but I am going to reschedule hopefully for this week. So be watching Instagram at Miss Allie Hillis, and I will announce when I can be back and do that live signing. I'm so sorry, you guys. Thank you. And thanks, Jen. Just heartfelt thanks for running the show today at the last minute. Thank you, Commander. We really appreciate you.
You're welcome.
We appreciate you. God,
Yeah, I
really
appreciate you guys. Courtney.
Yeah, I'm out of work. I ain't doing nothing. No.
Making bread.
I'm making bread, and I'm thinking about moving to Panama to sell 501s.
I'll come visit you.
I know, right?
I'll bring you 501s.
I can talk about nothing. I am going to be at LA Comic-Con on December 3rd with Ash and company. So that'll be cool. I think we have a panel like in the afternoon and a signing. So if you're in Los Angeles, come hang out with us. I'm going to do a signing at 4-ish today on my Instagram, which is at Courtney Taylor LA. Please make sure you spell my name right. Otherwise, you'll go into a whole different ladies business. So
I'm curious now.
There's a porn star also named Courtney Taylor.
OnlyFans.
So Courtney Taylor LA on Instagram. And yeah, and I will be signing proceeds going to Headstrong project for military mental health access. And somebody, Will Bloodworth, is like, made that mistake once. I'm like, yeah, maybe. And I may be, per someone's question, I may be in Australia in February. Watch my social media, because if I am, you'll know it.
Exciting. Mark.
Nice.
Yes. Well, as mentioned, I am here in Lumley Castle at D&D in a Castle, and I got to play a bunch of D&D with folks, and then get myself back to Canada. After I do all of that, I will finally have my signing. I'll probably be the latest one. I'm not doing mine until November 17th, Friday, November 17th, at I believe 7 p.m. Pacific. I'm just going to leave my store open until then, and I will be signing live, as opposed to, I was told that there was a bit of a snafu, but it should be if you want to get a live signing, that is available now. As far as what I'm doing, well, I'm playing D&D, and tomorrow I'll be streaming Idle Champions Presents Fatebreaker with Dungeon Master B. Dave Walters. I'll be sitting in this very room streaming Dungeons & Dragons on twitch.tv/CNE Games. My good friends there who have me on. I'll be playing Brother Uriah. And let's see. Other Dungeons & Dragons related things. There's game stuff I can't talk about. But one game thing I can talk about is Myth Force, which just released from Beamdog. A bunch of folks who worked at BioWare in the early days who struck out and formed their own company. And you can check me playing Daedalus, the Vampire Lord, in this salute to Saturday morning cartoons of the 1980s. And one other project that is near and dear to my heart is another role-playing game, Call of Cthulhu. My lovely wife, Belinda Cornish, has co-written a fantastic scenario with our friend Darren Ormandy. We had much success with Bookshops of Arkham on Chaosium's YouTube channel, and we have our sequel, which is shot and currently being edited, called Graveyards of Arkham. So please look forward to that. Thank you.
Yay. Fantastic.
Wow. Cool stuff, Mark.
And let's see. I am at JHale Tweets on Twitter, at JHale Graham on Instagram. You can always find me at skillshub.life, where, like Bloombox, we teach voice acting stuff. And now we have a skillshub.life YouTube channel, which I share on there about, my experience, how to do it, what to do, hurdles, how to get through them, all that kind of stuff around voice acting. We put up a new video every week. So you can find me there. And then I think Unicorn Academy is now out. It's a younger show. And I love my character. She's insane. Her name is Ravenzella, but I get to sing, which was absolute blast. And yeah, and then I mean, all I can say is that I'm in X-Men 97 and I can't say anything else. Can't say who I am, can't say what I'm doing, don't know when it's coming out, but I'm allowed to say that I'm in it. And yes, Journey to Foundation was released recently. Synapse or Synapse, depending on where you live, was released recently. And yeah, so there's stuff out there. Thank you all for being here. Oh yeah, did I say acting.skillshub.life? That's where
I was going to say, if anybody out there, we get people all the time asking us, you know, how we got started. You've got people right here on this panel that are the best of the best of the best. So talented and amazing teachers, instructors, and just true inspirations. So take advantage of that. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's
Love
Bloomberg.
you guys.
Amazing.
Giving back that way, you know.
Skillshub.life, I'm super proud of. So there's lots of options, lots of places to go, and people you can really trust. I think that's the thing. I dig my way through Facebook and Reddit in these communities, and the biggest challenge I'm seeing is people are getting the sequence out of order. They're dropping a bunch of money on a demo before they've ever built skills, and people are letting them, and I find it horrifying. And they're going to people and they don't know if they can trust them. And what I can say about Steve's company and about my company is you can trust us. It's really, the integrity is there. So please don't waste money. Please don't. I don't want to see that happen, because then your dreams get all dented, and I don't want that to happen. So have a beautiful day, everybody. Thank you, community. Woo-hoo.
Thank you, Jen.
Love you guys.
Jen, thank you for organizing. Thank you,
yeah.
Jen.
Jen,
Thank you for organizing.
Thank
Working.
you. And then
Very passionate of you. You were amazing,
Yes.
though, hon. Thank you, darling.
I
Yes,
don't know how
thank
to
you,
end
Jen.
this, so I'm hoping Campbell's still here. Thank you, Campbell. Thank you. Thank you, Streamily.
How do I do the heart thing?
I don't
I
know.
know, it won't hold
I
it.
want to do
Hold the
while
How
heart.
do I do it?
Oh, do you have to tap it?
While
No.
you guys figure out the heart thing, I'm going to text
heck? Oh,
Campbell.
wait, photo,
and ask
photo.
him,
Photo. Oh yes,
are
photo.
you-
Photo.
Oh, hang on.
Photo.
Still
How?
here.
Get the photo.
Oh, you're
Okay,
gonna
wait.
Here we
do
go,
it?
photo.
Wait, how?
1, 2, 3. Are we there yet?
Do we do it? Oh
We got it. We got it.
All
Okay.
right, love you
my God.
guys.
Mwah.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.